Well, hey YouTube, welcome back. I've got a cough drop, and this is Recommend. I like to do these recommendations where I run into stuff that might be a little bit more off the beaten path, maybe not. Typically, I do just a couple of things. Today is a lot more, considering we've got a lot more time. So, what are we recommending? Hopefully, something you would be interested in checking out. Give you something to watch, and these are a little bit longer things. So, first off, diving in real deep with Mike Patton, we have Nosferatu. Now, this is June of 2019. You can watch this 12 episode creepy thriller sci fi thing, and it's spelled NOS4A2. It's a one season, it looked to me like they were going after a Stranger Things vibe. Based on Joe Hill's New York Times best-selling novel of the same name, Nosferatu is a different kind of vampire story. So, the reviews are good on this thing. It's got Mike Patton's music. Mike Patton of Mr. Bungle, Faith No More, Phantomist fame. And also, he's done some music. He's done soundtrack music for movies, and it's usually really good. You can't tell it's Mike Patton. Like, when I heard about that, I thought, oh boy, here we go. And you can't tell. It's just really good soundtrack music. That's the only thing you could tell, but it doesn't give it away that it's Patton, as you would think, because he's kind of a cheeseball. He's kind of a ham. So, this is available on free streaming services. And what I mean by that is like Yes Movies. So you can go ahead and type Yes Movies in. It'll come up. A lot of times with these free streaming services, when you go to type something in the search window, it will pop up a window. So you've got to be ready to X out of those pop-ups. For every time you try to click on something, you'll get 2 pop-ups before the real thing comes up. So it's a little bit frustrating, but you don't get any spyware, malware. Sometimes there might be adult content, like cartoon, just nasty pop-ups. And that's why I like to be quick, because I'm sitting here with my wife. I don't want to have embarrassing pop-ups coming up, but that's just part of the game. Now, I think Yes Movies tends to be a little bit cleaner than some of the other ones. I did check Yes Movies, and I found Nosferatu was up there. Whether or not the whole thing streams all the way through, well, that'll be another story. Sometimes it gets clicky. So that'll save you a little bit of money. You can go ahead and cancel your Netflix, whatever other streaming services. If you're one of these people that went out and got Disney on demand, I was watching The Mandalorian at the same time you were, but we didn't pay a cent. So, recommend. The Beat Club. This is Bremen, Germany. The Beat Club is a YouTube channel, and I subscribe to it. Their main video that they have on their page is in memory of Joe Cocker, with a little help from my friends at Black and White Performance. So these are they all lip synced? In memory of Chuck Berry. They got Fanny on there. Ike and Tina Turner. Boy, that's a hard thing to say. Proud Mary, 1971. Eric Burden, War, Spill the Wine. Mostly, the Beat Club is black and white, and it's a lot of soul and R&B. It's just a cool music channel. This Beat Club was a German thing, and it's black and white, but they use a lot of trippy psychedelic effects. So that's some music that's a little bit. It's not so much like rock and roll as it is popish, but definitely worth checking out. The Beat Club. Moving further away and more modern by a little bit, Dead Kennedys. This is a documentary called Fresh Fruit for Rotting Eyeballs, Dead Kennedys documentary. Nothing says punk rock like the Dead Kennedys, and if you're not a fan of this band, you should be. Jello Biafra is a stalwart standout character of the punk rock generation, the godfather of punk and independent music with his alternative tentacles. That's a big word. And taking Wesley Willis to the bank and to the grave simultaneously. So we definitely want to check out Fresh Fruit for Rotting Eyeballs. And I'll be putting the links in the description, so calm down. Too Tough to Die is a 2006 tribute to Johnny Ramone. I haven't seen this yet. It's an hour and 16 minute dealio. Anything having to do with the Ramones, to me, is good. I love the Ramones from a distance. So if you haven't checked out the Ramones live, the Ramones were a live band. They weren't so much for the studio. Keeping that in mind, I have the 1978 performance from Germany. It's a tight set. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 maybe? 26 songs in 51 minutes. This is a great Ramones show from Germany. Typically, if it's from Germany, that means maybe the audio and video will be good. Moving along, if you're a Frank Zappa fan, you're in for a treat. Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, Stockholm, Sweden, 8/21/73. Montana, Dupree's Paradise, Father Oblivion. This is Frank Zappa, Jean-Luc Ponty, George Duke, Tom Fowler, Ralph Humphrey, Ruth Underwood, Ian Underwood, Bruce Fowler. So the corrected set list, we have Montana, Dupree's Paradise, Join the March, Father Oblivion, and Cucamonga. So some really long songs here. And what I have to say is the keyboard solo that George Duke does in this, and believe me, I'm not a keyboard solo aficionado. I don't think I've ever commented on a keyboard solo. Oh, well, wait. I have. That first time I saw Yngwie Malmsteen. Talking about a flurry of hairspray and notes. A lot of notes. But yeah, this is a really cool show. It's got a very warm analog film quality. Zappa's got on these plaid flared trousers. And it's a Swedish, it's "Oh Papa," they're all chanting "Oh Papa" or something at the beginning. It's kind of bizarre. But the moment when the keyboard solo engages, then you realize why I recommended this. It's incredible. Hats off to George Duke. Long live the mighty George Duke. Rest in peace. So, moving right along, Johnny Thunders. Johnny Thunders, John Anthony Gonzalez. Born in 52, died in 1991. Amazing he made it as long as he did. He was the guitar player, founding member of the New York Dolls. So he started punk rock. Also had his band, the Heartbreakers. Johnny Thunders was a junkie. And he had 6 albums of questionable quality. Quite a few live albums and compilations. Dead or Alive, You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory. The Story of a Junkie. Now, these getting into the filmography. Mona et Moi, 1989 French thing, because he spent some time in France. Born to Lose, the last rock and roll movie, 1999. Looking for Johnny, The Legend of Johnny Thunders, 2014. And then Room 37, 2019, directed by Vincenta and Fernando Cordero. So, yeah, I've got for you Born to Lose, the last rock and roll movie, version 5. And if you if you don't, if you're not into the dolls and you don't know who Johnny Thunders is, you kind of have to suspend your thing, your put down your guard, and just let it come. And eventually they'll win you over. The dolls, I know I really didn't like the New York Dolls. When I was a kid coming up and I saw that Buster Poindexter guy, I didn't like him. I did not like that band until recently when I had been seeing Johnny Thunders on the crawl and I watched Born to Lose, and his story won me over. He's a human being. He's a very flawed. He's a junkie, and he wrote a lot of bad music that's really good. A lot of really cheesy stuff. I would say it's drug fueled nightmare music, and not in a good sense. So. The Born to Lose thing will lead you into more curiosity about the dolls, all dolled up, the New York Dolls story, on Noisy and other different things relating. Room 37, like I said. So there's a lot involving Johnny Thunders, and basically his story was a lot of ups and downs and comebacks, and to a tragic end in New Orleans. So there's a lot there. And when you say the name Johnny Thunders, there's a good portion of people who just don't know who you're talking about. But when you see him in the Dolls and you see him in his solo career, you'll real quickly start to get a picture of who he is. He was junkie buddy with Dee Dee Ramone. So there's a tie-in with the Ramones where they were straight and they really frowned on Dee Dee's drug use, where he would go through these ups and downs, and he was hanging out with Johnny from time to time. And there's some material, there's some songs that are cross-pollinated. Chinese Rocks is there's two versions of that, and it's kind of up in the air about who wrote it. It seems like Johnny Thunder stole it from Dee Dee Ramone, is what it was, but we never know. There's a chance that they wrote it together. So that should be enough to hold you over for a little bit. Look for more quality content and recommend style videos from this channel, along with all the other just me sitting here and running my mouth. Alright, you guys, I always like to say good thoughts, good words, good deeds. I hope you enjoyed this content today, and peace.